finally going to get some attention. I mentioned to you all that I need a new brake booster. Took it for a little test drive the other day. Hit the brakes. Nothing. Well, not nothing. Rock hard, slowly stopping the car, but not what I would call brakes. They did stop it. You can hear the booster hissing. And the wonderful world of me, I always seem to have the cars that parts don't exist for. Gremlin. Yep. Unobtanium. Almost everything. Crazy, I'll tell you. 84 Corvette. 85 to 96. Parts everywhere. It's about falling in your lap, you know. But 84? Nope. Nothing. Fuel injectors? Nada. You know. Brake boosters? Nope. Don't have them. 85. Now you'll get some companies will list 84 to 96. Just because they know 84 doesn't exist. 84, I did a little research, and 84 is an 8-inch or 8.5. 8-inch or 8.5-inch diameter booster. And the 85 and up is a 9-inch. I did a little measuring, you know, and it'll work. I can fit it in there. But what I've also heard, now this is hearsay, is that the orientation is different somehow. And I'm about to find out what that means. Does that mean when I put it in, the master cylinder is going to be cattywampus? Does that mean that the holes are going to be out more on the 84, the 85s and up? Don't know. You and I are going to find out at the same time. I've got the new one somewhere, so let me fetch it, and then we'll go from there. This is another video, and I had this problem with the last one when I did the. You probably can't see that, but that's the 76 up there, big block car. You can't get in there with a camera, and if you can't get in there with the camera while you're in there with your hands. Make this one worse, it's a pit. Anybody who has one of these, if you're watching this, you might have one. If you got one of these, you kind of sit in the car. You know what I mean? There's like a cockpit, a hole there, you know? And you sit down into that hole. So you can imagine being on your back, trying to get under the dash and get these bolts. Fortunately, there's only two, at least from what I can see. So I'm going to just hang tight. I'm going to get the actual new booster, which is not the right one, but it's all I got. And we're going to have to make it fit. And since when has that ever been a problem for this channel, right? I mean, if you're not used to making stuff fit, well, this is the channel for you, because nothing I seem to own can, has parts available. So we've got to make everything. Hopefully this isn't orientated too different. Is orientated a word? Oriented? That would be proper. I like orientated. That worked for me. But hopefully that's not too far off, you know, cattywampus. I don't know. We're going to have to figure it out. So let me get the new one. And then we got to get this old one out. But I kind of wanted to look at, I looked under there a little bit, and it looks like, you got your little center doodah that goes to the pedal. And then it looked like there were two bolts, like almost right next to it, like really small. And I think that's them. Don't know. So I'm going to look at the other one, see if maybe that would be it. And sometimes looking at the new part will help you figure out what you're doing underneath there. But on the flip side, the new part ain't the right part, so the new part could not be telling me the truth. In which case, I'm back to square one. So anyway, let's get started, see what we got. I'll take you a little, we'll get the new one, we'll kind of talk about that, and then we'll give you a little tour about how uncomfortable I'm going to be while I do this. Just because I know y'all don't watch the channel because it's fun, right? You watch the channel to watch me suffer. Taking an engine out of the van through the side door yet. Yeah, fun, right? Meow. Maybe for you, while I'm cutting my hands and bumping my head and, in all sorts of contorted positions getting cramps, you guys are laughing at me, right? That's what it's all about, right? And I don't care. I'm okay with that. I watch other channels and I watch a guy crack his head or, make a comment about how bad he's suffering. And I'm laughing at the guy, right? So I know y'all are laughing when I suffer, so feel free to laugh. I'm okay with it. But anyway, let's check it out. I just kind of hate these close-up shots, Thought I was prettier when I was younger. As I get older, this is not so pretty anymore, right? Maybe y'all think so. Hope so, but probably not. This is the box. This is my new one. The wrong one. Right? Wrong? This is what makes me so not happy. Well, it is what it is, but easy to find. Can you see that? Made in China. Yeah, That's why it's so easy to get, right? Because it's Chinese. And that's why it wasn't $6 million. Couldn't even find the 84. Can't buy a rebuild kit for the 84. Wonder if I had spent, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as much money and got it from an actual Corvette dealer, if it would have been made in USA. I don't really care. As long as it works. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about USA. But on the flip side, this is how it works. If I'm spending my money on something made here, that's supporting American workers, right? But I'm an American worker. So if I'm spending more money to support the other American worker, who's supporting me, right? So no offense, guys. I like American-made parts, but I'm not a rich guy. So unfortunately, made in China works for me. As long as it works. If it doesn't work, well, then I got what I paid for, right? That's the consequences. So, here it is in all its glory. And I do think, oh, did you hear that? Was that me? Nope, that was my goose honking. I thought it was this. I was like, wow, that was loud. All right. So here it is. I do believe that the bolts that I saw under there are the correct ones because, see how close they are? They're really, really close to this piece, and that's how the ones under there are. So I think I can actually get to them without, too terribly much blood. And I have no idea if this is right. I don't know if any of this is right until I get the other one out. But this one looks okay, right? Should work, I hope. When I did the other Corvette, this was the wrong length, and I had to make it, I don't remember if I had to lengthen it or shorten it. I had to do something. Actually, I might have been this rod. I can't remember. I had to modify it. Go figure. Probably going to have to do the same thing here. Nope, it's going to go this way because the car's facing that way. That looks right. This is in there. This is where the little, vacuumage goes. And it looks right, other than that fact that this is fatter, bigger in diameter. But I'm okay with that because I did measure. It's going to be really, really close to a support, but if I had to, we can change the support, right? We take it off, it's only bolts on, take it off, notch it, and make it happen anyway, right? We can do anything. Got a welder, got a saw, got a plasma cutter. Woo! That's fairly new. I was doing the old death wheel stuff for the longest time, and so plasma cutter is kind of nice. And you'll see that. You actually, by the time you see this video, you will have watched the other video that I did last week with when I was doing the van. I also, if you watch that video, you'll see on that video that I mentioned that I was working on a guy's vehicle that came in because he had a crack in his frame on his Chevy truck. So that video will probably come out before this video, and so you'll see this video and you'll know what I'm talking about for that video. Okay, anyway, it looks right. So let me get the other one out of there. I'm going to bring the camera over there, get underneath the dash, and see if I can't show you what I'm doing. I'm not going to actually be able to show you while I'm doing it because there's just not enough room. But I think if I do a little pointing, you can figure it out. Ready? Yeah, not me. I hate under the dashboard work. I like this car. A lot of people don't like the 90, the 84 to 96s, the C4s. I like them. I think this car's pretty. It ain't as pretty as that one, but she's pretty and cheap, right? I got a $400 paint job that looked pretty darn good, I must admit. And, you know, she's got kind of an odd color. Can't complain there, right? You don't want to be like everybody else. You know what kind of... Just going to rant for a minute, okay? Painted this car. Only took it out one time since then. And went to go put some gas in it. And that's in a whole other video because we're going to have to do gas gauges off. So I don't know if it's just not going all the way. We'll figure that out later. But anyway, took it out, put some gas in it. The next week I go out and it has a freshly painted red C4 with white stripes. What? That car did not exist until I painted this one. Are they copying me? I don't know. I brought this car, when I first brought this car back from Florida, or up from Florida, it wasn't, the next year, there was another one just like it driving around. Didn't have the same wheels or side pipes, but it was the same color. I'm like, what the heck? I guess imitation is the best compliment, right? So I can't complain. But I don't get mine out very much, so these other guys are cruising the cars with my ideas. Dang it. It's all good. I don't care. If you guys are getting ideas from me and you like them, I appreciate that, actually. If you're trying to... I have another guy that fell in love with his Vette, sold all his hot rods and bought a Vette and wanted to basically mimic this one. I can't complain about that. You know, if somebody likes my style of doing things that much where they want to mimic it, I'm cool with that. I don't care. You know, I try real hard to be different than everybody else, and if that different excites you, yeehaw, I'm all about that. But anyway, this one was a little bit different. It was red. It looked very nice. I got to admit, it was beautiful. But he, instead of, like, if you look at mine, I stopped the stripes just short, just after where the deck lid would be. Of course, there's not a deck lid on this car. His went all the way down, kind of like the Viper. You know, kind of all the way across, down the front, all the way down the back. Looked good, though. Can't complain. You know, I went through all that on this one to make, and it looked cool. But it would have looked just as good if I had continued the stripes all the way down the car. So anyway, I'm done talking now. Let's go get this thing done, because I'm already prepared for cramps when I'm trying to sleep tonight, because I was all contorted trying to get this thing from under the dash. Let's see what we got. I'm going to contort myself just to show you what I got to do. And then I'm going to do it. Plain and simple. Ready? This is what I'm talking about. If you look at the car, here's the sill. Then you got your seat. If you're not a Corvette guy, you're going to figure this out real quick. And I've got to come in here. Well, I better get this light out of here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. There we go. You can see that the seat is even with the sill. So you're actually sitting down inside the car. And then here you go. And this is what we're going to do. Look, here's your sill. And you can see it's a pit. Got to go into this pit to get in here. Now, I'm going to put this up in here so you can see what I'm doing. Look, got dark all of a sudden, didn't it? See? It's a pit. Okay. All right, here we go. And up in here, of course, I can't see a thing. All right. Oh, yeah. Golly. I can't hold the camera and do this at the same time. So this is going to be... All right, let's see if I can do this. All right, well, here. You can see the back of the, yeah, totally went blank. The back of the booster, there we go. See that diaphragm right there? Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. I can't. I can, I guess. No, I don't think that's it. Let me... Hang on, let me see if I can... Oh, there we go. That you can see it pretty good there. There's the diaphragm. I can't get my other hand in here to show you the bolts, but they're just on the other side. Maybe... wait a minute. Oh, nope. Maybe... Well, no. Try it again. Alright, well anyway, let's see if I can just get it in there and show you right in there. Well, okay, right over, okay, well anyway, there's your diaphragm. Inside the diaphragm, you see those two steel rails that are kind of shielding it, right? Well, on this side of, on either side of that, which you really can't see, gosh, I cannot get a second hand in here. I need to be smaller. I need to get my daughter in here. there's the bolts are just on either side of that metal piece. So I'm basically going to go in here, from here, back here. Let me see. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, there we go. I'm stuck. Okay. I'm having major issues even getting in here. But, okay. Now, if you look, I got to get past all of this stuff. And it's way, way under there. You know, you might be able to see it better than I can. I don't know, because I can't hardly get in there. I can't even get upside down in there to get both hands on there. So I'm going to be using an extension with a swivel in through here, and on either side of that diaphragm that you saw, it's actually just a boot, I think. I'm going to get in there with hopefully the right size socket and just pull that out. And that's going to be the hardest part, is actually just holding it in from the other side and trying to get those on. But I think I can do it with only one hand. And then, of course, I've got the, right here is where the pedal, you know, goes in, and I think it's a clip in there. Which there's no way I can get the camera in there. So anyhow, I hope y'all are looking at this going, what the heck is that? I'm doing my best to try to show you what's got to be done. And fortunately, unlike the other one, there's only 2 bolts. And it looks like I can get to them. Sort of. So let's give it a shot, and then we'll take the rest of the game from out front. This is what it looks like from the front. And the extra size shouldn't make a big difference. I've got about a 1/2 inch between this support here, and if it hits that support, well, we'll have to figure out a way to move that support or put a notch in it or whatever the case may be. Well, I've got ample room on this side, and I think we have, oh, please tell me I have ample room underneath. Yeah, there's some, I don't know, it's pretty close to the steering shaft underneath there. So we'll find out. I think it may, there's a couple of lines that are going underneath the steering shaft, and we'll just have to reroute them because there's not going to be any room. It's going to be sitting right up against it, but I think it's the housing and not the part that spins. Yeah, it is. It's the housing. So we should be good. We'll find out. So hang in there. So far, I don't even want to say this because it's going to be bad if I do, but so far, it's not been horrible. Contorted, yes. Cramping, of course. But in reality, the bolts came out without incident. And I'll show you my weapons of choice in a minute. But let's get this off of here first. And I think I see what they're talking about orientation-wise. I don't want to lose this screw. I think I see what the difference in orientation is, and so far it's not a scary thing. So but I could be wrong, and things could get a lot scarier. So let's see what's going on. Got those off of there. I'll pull the, just check them for, well, that one's full. That's good. That one's full. That's good. Well, so far, we're all good on everything. Get this out of the way. And cruise control. Who needs cruise control on a Corvette? You're going too fast to put it in cruise. Oh, that's going to be. So we do. Well, maybe not. Let's see. I've got it disconnected inside completely. So here's the humdinger so far. It's just getting everything out of the way enough to get it out. I know I've got it disconnected in the back, but she's fighting me. Maybe take these zip ties off of here. Let's see. That's too much work. What am I hitting? I'm hitting that support right here. I think there's something else still there. Maybe. And let me scoot up underneath there and see if there's something stopping it from coming out. It found its way back on the hooky thingy.
But now that is in the way. So we are not clear to land here, folks. I don't want to mess that up. And on the flip side, get this out of here. Golly, we might have to take the cruise out of here. It's got enough room. Let me cut this zip tie. Can't get away from it. This is a king size zip tie. So get that out of the way. Now we land here, we'll get all of this. Didn't help even a little. Come on, baby. Why not? There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. Woo! Maybe it did help a little. Alright. There it is. Now let's compare it to the other one. Okay. Here we go. I'm stepping all over everything. Alright, here's the old one. And here's the new one. Okay. Master cylinder bolts, the same. I can't put them end to end like that on the rear bolts, but we can measure. Before we do that, let's check the length of the rod. Pretty slippery, this new one. Here we go. Alright. Rod, pretty darn close. You know, we're like within a half an inch. So I'm thinking we can make up for that. Easy enough. It'll just make the pedal come out a little further. And now I'm going to measure. Not going to be easy. I'm going to get a vernier. And I'm going to measure across here, make sure these are the same. But here's the, I'm going to set these down on the, where you don't have to look at my face. I want you to be able to look at what I'm doing over here. Orientation. If I put this one like that, there's a problem. This is over here on this one, which was at the bottom over here. On this one, it's over here. So that's the orientation they're talking about. I'm okay with that because we can always, you know, put a longer hose. That's a piece of cakeish. All right. So if this one went in this way, right, and it's going to go in like that, and this one goes in, dang gum, this way, the only difference is going to be this was at the bottom, this one is at the top, which actually makes it easier. Yeah, makes it easier to get to. So this is not bad, but look at the difference in size. They said 9-inch, 10-inch, but that's considerably bigger. So here's my dilemma. I may end up having to move that support. This support right here, I may end up having to move it because that's a considerable difference in size. So I may have to notch out that support. We'll find out in a minute. That is the difference. I measured these on the back with a vernier, and they are the same. So the difference is this is going to be on the top over here instead of on the bottom over here. That actually makes me happy because that is really better, I think. My only issue now is going to be the change of size and diameter. We've got two, well, I don't know what that's all about, but we got two cables that run under here. That could become an issue. But this is a little flatter, so it's going to go in more and hopefully won't hit whatever this is. We're going to have to hopefully not have to modify that or maybe put a small spacer. But I don't think this one's as fat. It's not. This one's not as fat. So it's not going to come forward as much. But yeah, the diameter here, yeah, well, All we can do is try it and see what happens. Ready? Here we go. Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. We stick it in the hole and see if it goes, or if it's gonna fight. So, over the cable and through the woods, it's going in, you know. Of course, I can't see what I'm doing. I can't see. There we go. There's the hole. Coming up a little bit. And come on. Oh gosh. It's hitting. It's hitting the support, but it's hitting the support as I'm trying to put it in. So maybe once I get these in, it's like, it's like, oh, look at that. Oh boy. So here's a problem. Well, yeah, it's hitting the throttle cable. It is indeed hitting the throttle cable. Well, it couldn't be easy, right? We knew that was going to happen. It's actually clearing the support, no problem. But it is in the face on that throttle cable. Can I move the throttle cable over? Possibly. I think the screws are on the back side, which does not make me happy. Or I can put a, gosh, it's right there. I don't think it's even hitting that yet. Hang on. Something going on here. There we go. Those are in the way. Let me try pulling it in from the other side, because it's not even hitting that throttle cable yet. So I think it might be hitting something under the dash. And I'm going to show you my weapons of choice in a minute. So give me a minute to see if I can get this hooked up on the backside. Since I can't really get up in there with my hands, take a socket, and you put your nut in the socket, and then you just put a little piece of black tape on there. Try to, just to hold it on there. And that piece of black tape is not working. It's a little dirty, I think. But you get the point. You just put your nut on there in the socket, you put a little black tape around it to hold it on there, and once it threads, you just pull her off of there and good to go. Alright, weapons of choice. This is a magnet, and this was for retrieving the nuts on the inside after you drop them into the insulation. This is the washer that was on the pedal. The pedal's got a rod sticking out, and this washer goes over the rod, and then this clip goes behind it, and that's what holds the whole thing together. In order to access that, I used these. Okay, pushed the pedal all the way forward, had it unbolted, pushed the pedal all the way forward, gave me a little bit more room to work. Got this up in here, got this to hook into the little loopy here, like so, and I just pulled it out. Okay, so that was that. Chickens are trying to get in on the whole, video. Okay. Use a mirror. You don't need that because I did all your thinking for you. I was using the mirror to see if it was, that close to kinking the throttle cable, but it didn't. I was able to pull it in on the throttle cable, and it's just like right up against it. So it's in there. It's close, but it's in there. Okay. Wire cutters to get rid of the old zip tie that was in the way. And most importantly, a deep socket with a universal on it. You'll notice I put black tape on the universal. That's to keep it so it, don't flop around. So you put a little black tape on there, stiffens it up for you, because otherwise they just keep drooping, like an old man trying to make love. It ain't happening, right? Older than me, but anyhow. very long extension. That way I can, because I can only get one hand in there. So you kind of holding this like this, and you got to get way out here to get the other hand, because your other hand's doing the old T-Rex thing, you know, and that's what you're doing. So I did use the electric ratchet, my little, whatever you call it, you know, automatic. You just press a button, and it takes it off. Did use that to get it off, but to put it back on, I did have to use a standard ratchet. This one's like 25 years old. It's an old Craftsman when they used to be good or even existed. You know, I did this to tighten it, so I knew I wasn't over tightening and or making sure it was getting tight. Because there's just, I'm telling you folks, I don't know how big you guys are. I'm 5'8", 170 pounds, and I'm barely fitting. So I don't know if you're a bigger guy. God bless you. But let me tell you this. It's a heck of a lot easier to do this one than it is her sister sitting up on a rack here, that 76. If you got a C3, God bless you if you got to change this out. If you've got a C4, it's only 2 bolts. They're not fun to get to, and there's no room. But if you have an extension, you can get to them. They're a lot easier because on that, if you've ever done the C3s, that top bolt way up there on the left, yeah. If you've ever done it, you know what I'm talking about. This car, it's only been, I gotta say, maybe an hour, maybe 2. I have no concept of time, so me telling you the time is just a waste of my time and yours. But I'm going to guess a couple of hours at the most, and I'm almost done. We've got it in, and it's in there. It's tight, but it's in there. And we're just going to hook up the master cylinder and reroute my vacuum hose. And I've actually got a new filter, because the filters can go, it's actually a check valve. Check valves can go bad too, so I'm going to go ahead and replace on the check valve just for precaution. Of course, I could hear it hissing, so I know it was the booster, but it doesn't hurt to check the check valve, change the check valve if you can get another one. They're not expensive. I think the new one was 12 bucks. But yeah, just change that out too, just in case. And we're about ready to finish putting this together, so hang in there. We're going to finish it up. I just wanted to show you the choice of toolage here, you know what I mean? Well, I sprung a leak. Just kind of bleeding all over the place, but it's not even that bad. It just wants to bleed. Pull this off of here. I got some special pliers that they're supposed to take off these funky clamps. I don't know if you've ever seen a pair like these, but it kind of locks, so once you get them in there, they're good, but kind of a pain to use because it does lock. Whoop, and my light just went southbound. Let's see. So you just kind of, this is meant to hook onto the single one, and then these go onto the double ones. Squeeze it. And then, whoa! And if they fly, they fly. Woo! Alright, now we can test on this. And I don't know if you've ever seen somebody test on this, but this is the easiest way to do it. Can you see me now? Well, here you go. You go blow on it, suck on it. You blow on the other end, shouldn't go through. Blows, but can't suck on it or blow from the other side. So this one's not bad. But I'm going to change it anyway because it could get stuck maybe and it wasn't working right. So this one, same thing, blow or blow from this side. Yep, it works. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace it with this one. This is actually off my parts car. It's not even as clean as the one I just took off, but I'll keep this one as a spare because it does seem to be working okay. I'm just going to change it out just in case, and hopefully not causing myself any further issues. Unfortunately, you didn't get to watch me struggle with that. It looks like it has threads, but you're not going to thread it in. Basically, I just muscled it in, pushed it past in there, and here we go. We got that all on there. I've got full fluids here. We got to just tighten. Probably be a good idea to tighten that up. But other than that, we are D-O-N-E. Done. Done. D-U-N-N, done. But we're done. We just need to tighten this up. I like to keep everything loose until everything's together, and then just snug everything back up, because it's easier to jostle things around if you need to. Give that a good little snuggage. Now back over here. You could almost get this one with just a minor wobble extension, but I use the universal joint dug anyway. There it is. Now, I reckon it's time to test it. Woohoo! See if it even works. Yeah, kind of scared. Let's see what happens. Pedal feels good. The moment of truth. Oh yeah. Feels wonderful, working fine. I guess the next thing is just take it for a quick ride, making sure it works right. Back her out, and see what we got. It feels a lot better. Oh yeah. I have brakes, woohoo! So let's see if I can get out of here without hitting anything. The car is a little bit bigger than, it's different than, I usually drive that BMW on a daily basis, and believe it or not, this car is the same width. It just feels bigger. Because the Beamer's got those big spread out wheel wells, you know, big humps if you will. Whereas this thing, the body covers the wheel wells. And we got a few more things to do to this car, but let's take it for a little bit of a blast and check the brakes. Oh yeah, they're stopping on a dime. Let's test it in the driveway, and we'll go into the back, through the back of the garage if it doesn't work. Let's try it. Ready? Oops, something just climbed up the windshield. Well, the brakes work just fine. I don't know what just hit me, but something just flew up the windshield. Must have been on the dashboard. And okay, so let's take her out on the road and see what happens. I'm driving a Mack truck here. Got the steering wheel down to all sorts of craziness. Let's back her up. Try not to take any corners because the camera's going to go flying. I've got to get the vacuum to drop a little bit by acceleration, see if I still have brakes. Here we go. Come on, shift, old girl. She didn't want to shift. Brakes. Oh yeah, she's working. Doesn't want to shift. Not at high RPM anyway. So let's see, but the brakes are working fine. And we got some other stuff we got to do to this car, so we'll take her for one more little blast, and hopefully it'll shift this time. Got nice crisp shifts. Okay, I'm not completely dissatisfied with that. The brakes are good, so yeehaw. Now, time to fix the gas gauge. There we go. A little bit of a ride. Right, some people like to hear that car go for that first ride, you know, after you fix something. She stops. Woo! I'm pretty happy about that.
Now I'm going to try to fix the gas gauge. It's getting a little bit late in the day, but I got some daylight left, and it shouldn't take long. You're going to be amazed at how easy this next job is, but you're going to have to stay tuned for the next video to see that. But we're done with this one. It's a double thumbs up. We got her, or Shaka. Hope you guys, I got fans in Hawaii, right? So Shaka, bro, right? Something like that. Anyway, done. That part. I was dreading that, to be honest with you. Not near as hard as the C3. Still no picnic, because you gotta crawl up under that dashboard, and that's just not fun. But it wasn't that bad, to be honest with you, and I really wouldn't dread doing it again. 2 bolts, boom, done. And that from there, you know, going to that bigger piece there, bigger booster. Yeah, there we go, booster. It wasn't that bad. So the only thing is, and I probably should have showed you that, but it's like really, really, really close to the throttle cable. It's like right up against it, but it's there. It's rubbing the there's a little cover on the steering box for just a plastic cover that protects the whatever's in there, and it's rubbing up against that, but it's plastic, no big deal. So it's in there, and it works. So do not hesitate. If you got an 84, don't hesitate to put the 85 through 91 or 2, I think, and then 92, and up's different again. But don't hesitate to buy it. Go ahead and do it. Save yourself some headaches trying to find one, or if you do find one, buying secondhand, putting in a used one. Don't do that. I'm not really, sheet metal, sure, but anytime it's a wear item, I know, like a used calipers or used boosters or used master cylinders, I don't like doing it. Used transmission, sure. Used engine, sure, if you know it runs. But even then, I'd kind of rather put in the new stuff because you know it's going to last. Something that's a pain in the butt like this, by all means, you want to put new if you can. If you got to use old, try to recondition it as best you can, or just deal with it. But nonetheless, it's in. I'm happy. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. That helps me out. And, I like it. Smash the like button if you like this video. Feel free to watch the rest of them. This car has been in a lot of videos. It's about to be in a few more. But she's almost done. I'll give you a hint. I'll go ahead and tell you. Why not? Just so you know. We got to get the old window tint off the windows. That's not going to be fun because it's got the lines, the whole defrost thing going on. So, that's going to take a little while. And I'll show you how to do that. Got to get all the sticky tape off there from the paint job because I left the tape on there too long. Don't ever leave masking tape on a car for 6 months. It's not a good idea. I know better, but I did it anyway. And it cost me, and I'll show that to you later. I think I already did once. And now I got to fix the gas gauge. That's the next thing. Gas gauge is empty when it's reading quarter tank. Not good, right? You'd be driving along and you'd be like, what the heck? I got a quarter tank. So I got to fix that. And so that's going to be the next project. I think I'm going to try to do that today. So if I'm wearing the same shirt, you'll know why. But this is going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.